Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am once again excited about getting up this morning and speaking to you, hopefully saying some words of encouragement and inspiration to push you to just keep moving. But I wanted to discuss something this morning, a topic that is important to all of us, but not only that, something that I've experienced called toxicity. It's important, what I'm sharing today, to do away with toxic thoughts. Listen to me closely. Doing away with toxic thoughts. Things can come into your mind, and you might just say, oh, well, or you kind of push it off and say, no, that's not real. I don't want to think about that. Whatever the case may be. But let me tell you, things will. And I couldn't tell you this if I hadn't experienced it. Sometimes we have to get off the surface with ourselves, not somebody else, with ourselves in the way that we think. Because the way that we think will impact us. And that's why we have to be careful about who we allow to feed things to us. Not just who we allow, even ourselves. Things that we look at on television, things we view on social media, people we hang around, or what have you. And sometimes you might say, well, I'm just a loner. But you still are going to have some thoughts that just aren't beneficial for you. Because when you're alone, a lot of times you'll think about things that you never would have thought about because you kept yourself involved with people. On the flip side of that, you can be around too many people, too large of a circle, or just a circle that's toxic. And let me tell you, toxic thoughts, whether it's introduced into your mind somehow by people or whatever the situation, they are dangerous. Toxic thoughts are dangerous. You might say, what do you mean by that? Thoughts that make you feel like you can't go on. Thoughts that make you feel like you're not good enough. Thoughts that say, why are you doing that? Thoughts that say, you were crazy for even coming up with that. Those are toxic thoughts. How can I talk to you about it? Because that's something I've been experiencing. That's why I can talk about it. I believe that honesty is the best policy. When I began to, a couple of months ago, deal with some medical issues in my own life. And so I had to slow down what I was doing on coming in the mornings and getting up on where I used to have a lot of energy to just get up and do that. And then things started slowing down because things started taking place with my health. And so I had to focus on that. And I know many of you know what I'm talking about. And there are those who haven't reached that point yet where health becomes your priority. Because if your health is no good, then you are no good. So what I'm saying about that is as I slowed down, things began to be introduced into my mind. I'm talking toxic thoughts this morning because it's so important. Because it brings about things and make you question yourself more often than doing what God has told you to do, has commissioned you to do. You look at that thing, you question it, and not realizing you are questioning God. And God said, if I brought you through it, I know how I'm going to allow you to operate in it. Let me say that again. If God brings you to it, If God gives you a vision, he will give you the tools to operate in it. So those thoughts that come into your mind that are so toxic, might say, well, toxic, what are you talking about? It steals your peace. It steals your joy. It steals your purpose. It steals your vision. It steals your want to keep going. It steals your drive. Toxic thoughts are important to identify with so that you can get up and get moving. I notice a lot of times you lose your peace. You will lose your peace. I'm sharing this because I don't want this to happen to somebody else. I know that it will, but hopefully what I'm sharing with you this morning will help you somehow to do some self-evaluation. Check in on you and see what's happening, because it may be that. I heard someone say that, I believe that was Friday. I want to say Friday. We've had a long weekend, so I thought all day yesterday it was Sunday because I didn't have to go to work. And this psychiatrist that was on one of the XM stations said, America is depressed. America is stressed. And America has a lot of mental illness issues going on. Not illness, issue. Mental issues going on. Why? Because it's being impacted by crisis after crisis after crisis. It's like you get the inflation, and then you get the joblessness, and then you get the killings, and you get the wars in Ukraine. You just get all this stuff. The pandemic, people want to say it's over. It's still here. It's just not raging like it was. It's just at a sense of control right now. We don't get to pick when the pandemic is over. We don't get to choose that. And a lot of times people are grappling so hard with all of us. America is grappling so hard with so many things. On top of that, the issues impact everyday people like myself and like you. Because it's one thing after another. And this is what the psychiatrist was sharing. America is suffering with so many things that is impacting the mental. But I'm not going to take away from what God can do. But you ever think about, instead of us drawing closer, we use the moment to be critical of one another. And we don't know how bad this thing is impacting us individually. People looking like they got it together, and they don't. But let me tell you, I'm not here to take your spirits down this morning. I'm here to say to you, there is hope. There is a rainbow. There is opportunity. Because God has not left us. He sees us. And with all the tragedies and everything that's going on, we have to hold on. When we fall down, I posted this last night on my Facebook page. We got to get back up. We don't have there's no other option. To fall down, I've got to get back up. You know why? Because somebody else who don't have as much strength as you, who don't have that glimpse of hope that you have, they're looking at you And they're trying to hold on because you become their strength in the moment. Because they say, I see Electra fighting, I think I can keep fighting. Whatever your name may be, watching this video, some people, somewhere, somebody is holding on because of you. Somebody's doing that because of you. Somebody is saying it's going to be all right because of you. And it's because the God that's in you that keeps pushing you through that Holy Spirit that's saying, don't you dare sit down. Don't you dare sit down. You've got too much to live for. I know your peace has been disturbed. I know your vision has been blurred. I know that there's some things that you heard that broke your heart by some people that you thought supported you. I know that. I know there's some things that you saw that were aimed at you to destroy you. But you thought that it was in your favor. You thought that they were in your favor. You thought that they supported you. You thought that they believed in you. You thought that they were rooting for you. I know that. But remember this. I will give you provision. I will give you protection over everything. Over everything. I will give you some more hope, some more desire, some more purpose. I will give you that. I interject that into you. I'm the one that give you hope. And I give you healing from right where you are. Who and why am I saying this? Because this is me. This is the space that I was in. This is the space that I'm trying to move from. Toxic thoughts can get you down. Not because you welcome them, not because you want that, but because sometimes so many things is happening in your life that you're just trying to do anything and everything to keep it all together. See, sometimes you start lying to yourself, so you start lying to other people. Let me say that again. You lying to yourself, then you start lying to other people. What I mean by that, you start masking and put up an image that's really not real. Because you don't want people to know that you're hurting. You don't want people to know that these toxic thoughts are getting next to you. That these toxic thoughts are weighing you down. That these toxic thoughts are trying to take you away from the things that God promised you. So if God promised you purpose, God promised you provision, He promised you protection in that. Purpose, provision, protection, that all comes from God. So when He give you a vision in life, and when it don't look like you think it ought to look, He say, I haven't left you. I know many have walked away from you. I know many don't believe in you, but I'm still right here with you. And that moment where you feel like you're so weak, like you ask that question, why? He said, that's when I'm carrying you. I'm carrying you now. I'm telling you, God is carrying me now. And He's carrying you, whoever you are. Whoever you are, wherever you are. People gonna say what they want to say about you. You can't stop that. People are gonna do things towards you, and some of these people are people that you have helped. Some of these people are people that you have given your last. Some of these people are people that you became a part of their life for whatever reason that it was, and you stood with them. But yet, they turn their backs on you. But see, God say, there's some people in your life for longevity, and there's some people in your life for a short term. And I knew that they weren't going to be beneficial. So I evicted them out of your life. God does the evictions in your life of people who are not beneficial to your life because they're toxic. Some things on television you have to stop watching because it becomes toxic. You can't read every book that come out because it's toxic. Some things that's in some books you don't need to put in your mind because they got some good books and they got some books that teach people things that, that just ain't good. You can read all kind of books. They got all kind of books out here. And it's good. I encourage people to read. I work in higher education. I understand the importance of massaging the brain, of putting things in your mental, of growing in your mental. I understand every bit of that. Years and years and years of training in psychology for the degrees I got on the wall. But the degrees aren't compared to when you got to live it and work in that field. That's just to give you the credibility to do it. Any certifications, any degree, any kind of education that you have is paper that verifies that you have went through the process. That's the paper. But when you get in the trenches to work in your field of expertise, to get the training that you need to do the things that you do, let me tell you, that thing becomes so real and you got to know how to operate in it. My field calls is for me to work with people, a diverse population. My field does that. And then everyday life. Everyday life. What I do on social media doesn't just end on social media. But I will tell you this. When God introduces things to you, it's never, ever to tear you down. It's the people that you might share those things with that don't believe in you, that don't believe in your purpose, that don't believe in your vision. They don't even believe that God is protecting you in this. But God knows exactly what he's doing, and he knows your name. God wants you to have peace. And he wants you to identify when there are things that's happening to you. Ask God to show you what it is that he's trying to do in your life. People count you out. God will never count you out. Let me say that again. People count you out. God will never count you out. So wherever you are in your life right now, and be honest with yourself. You can tell people, you can tell people what you want to tell people. You can mask, you can just act like I'm really on top of it. As the young people say, I'm 100. You know that you're not. Be honest with yourself. If you're in a dark place, tell yourself, I'm in a dark place. And then the only way that you're going to identify that you need help to get out of that is you got to admit that. I'm in a dark place in my life. God, I need your help. I know that you know because you know all about me. I need your help. I'm in a place where I don't even know what's the next move to make. I need your help. I'm in a place where my life seems to be interrupted by and everything. I need your help. I'm in a place where I don't know whether to believe or not. I need your help. I'm in a place where I feel hopeless. I'm just talking about the things that I know go on with people and go on with myself. I need your help. I'm in a place where it seems like I'm no longer accepted. I'm always rejected. I need your help. Some of that fits you. And some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Because you're in a place where you need God's help. You need his help. You need God's help. And the only way he can help you is you got to let him. But first you got to be honest with him. Because if you lie to yourself, you try to lie to God and you can't. And you try to lie to other people. But your life don't fit what you look like. Believe me, I've had some rejection. Believe me, I've had some brokenheartedness. Believe me, I've had some loneliness. Believe me, I've had some people walk out. Believe me when I say that. But God say, hey there, Electra, I see you. I see you. I see you in your dark place. I see you. And not only do I see you, I want you to know that I'm going to help you. I want you to know that my protection is over you. I want you to know that my provision is over you. And I want you to know that my purpose is over you. You're surrounded by it. But I also want you to tell somebody else, I'm doing the same thing with them. I see them. I just want them to talk to me. Just talk to me. It don't believe how, look here, it don't matter how the world feels about you, because they gonna feel about you how they want to feel about you. What matters is how you feel about me. You believe me? You trust me? You know I'm your father? You not embarrassed of me? I got you. Right now, God is carrying me. Right now, God is carrying you. It's somebody right now. You know the only way that you're making it is God is carrying you. That's the only way you're making it. Because he wants you to know, I am God all by myself. And I don't need nobody else's approval. And you my child. And because you my child, you don't need nobody else's approval but mine. So that's what I wanted to come on and share this morning. As I continue to listen for his voice, as I continue to watch over my health right now, as I continue to do things in the way in which he tells me to do them. I don't want to mislead nobody, because I don't want to be misled. But one thing I can say, I asked God years ago, and y'all have heard me say this time and time again, and it's a real part of my life. I asked God as a young girl, I said, Lord, I just want to be a giver. I just want to be a giver. And he done that for me. All I just want to be a giver. Giving of myself. Giving of my knowledge. Giving of just things that I see people in the need of. And God did that for me. He continues to do that for me. And when I took away my fear, he took it away of coming on live to social media. Because as many of you that know that have been following me now know that I had a bad problem with acne over the years, struggling with it. But my daughter, God raised her up. And she has a spa that she does facials and different other things. Y'all see me post her stuff, do advertisements with her business. And then she has the juice business, and that's also a health type thing, where she press juices and just bring it around to where she takes care of me. And she's done magnificent work with my skin that I struggled with for years. And God, I stepped out. You want to know how I ended up on social media talking? I always liked to talk because I believe communication makes the world go round, right? You stop communication, the world stops growing. Because nobody knows what you need unless you tell somebody. Nobody knows what condition that this world is in until they share it with people. And I could go on and on. But you know, and just keep this in mind. Communication is important. So God said, I gave you the gift of communication. You're not going to use something that I gave man the ability to develop, which is social media, in order for you to push out the things that I've placed over you for years. I didn't just need you in the court system. I didn't get you all this judicial training. You know, years of that. I didn't bless you with that to sit down. I didn't bless you with those degrees on the wall to just look at them. I did that for a reason. Your training, your years of training in psychology, I did that for a reason. Because I had purpose for you. I had purpose for you. Don't you sit down on me. Because I am still injecting protection, provisions, and purpose into your life. It's in your bloodstream. So those toxic thoughts, we're going to get rid of them. And it's not only you. It's so many out there. So many out there. If I can take your daughter and give her a skill set to work with that thing that you struggled with for years, I can take that gift that I gave you and use it however I want to help somebody that may be struggling with something that nobody else knows about. I will go back to that word fear. False evidence appearing real. That's what fear is. False evidence appearing real. Things making you feel like God has forgotten about you. And it's not true. They want to walk out? Let them go. They don't want to believe in you? Let them go. People that feel like you're not good enough? Let them go. God said, I already provided. I already knew they was going to leave you. I already knew they was going to walk out on you. I already knew that. Because I want you to focus on me and my purpose for your life, my vision. So that's what I wanted to share with you this morning. And I pray that it helps someone. Doing away with toxic thoughts. Doing away with toxic thoughts can mean getting away from toxic people and toxic things. All right? Take care of yourself. Pray you have a wonderful day. And if the Lord says the same, I may go on. I'm looking at doing something on my podcast, just doing hot topics. So I'm going to see how God wants me to do that. He never makes it hard. He just gives me the thoughts. Hot topics. And it's basically coming on to my YouTube channel, my podcast, Electra James Inspirational Talks. So if a notification pops up that I'm doing something live, I may not have a guest, because I'll be honest with you, it's been hard kind of getting guests for whatever reason. Nothing that I've done wrong. God let me know that. I was just beating myself up. But sometimes it was confirmed the other day with some friends of mine that came down from New Mexico. See, God will send a message. He'll bring a message to you from anywhere. And she shared with me, no matter how much you get rejected, keep going. No matter how much you're rejected, keep going. God sent that message through her. Yes, he did. And I really thank her for that. Both her and her husband. And we're like family. To come that many miles, stop in to see me, to drop off words from God. So I thank both Willie James and Joyce. That was powerful because that came from God. That was powerful. No matter how many reject, no matter the rejections, don't you give up. You keep doing and listening to God. And he will provide for you. And he will send what you need. And he will open the doors for you. God brought a message to me all the way from New Mexico. I'm telling you, he's powerful. So no matter who don't believe in you, believe in yourself, okay? And keep talking to God. And he'll help you. He'll help you to make contact with him. And when he said, those are toxic thoughts you're dealing with, tell somebody so that they can stop it. All right? Y'all have a wonderful day. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.